Don't believe everything you hear about Airsoft.
And we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Port City Podcast, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Today we are talking about some misconceptions and sometimes outright lies about Airsoft. I think there's a lot of misconceptions on the internet, especially with YouTube. People who have never played Airsoft, who watch Airsoft content. There's a lot more to this sport, this hobby, this industry, this community than meets the eye, and a lot of things that really are different in person than are online. And today we wanted to just take a minute to talk to you guys about what Airsoft is and what Airsoft isn't, really just the truth behind this. I would say this community. I mean, it is a sport, it is a hobby, it's an industry, but at the end of the day, all of that only exists because there's a community of people who have been pushing for the innovation of these products.
Yeah. It's very unfortunate to see, I even recently, especially recently, I've encountered many people who've been like, I'd play Airsoft, but, and then they'll reference, the very obviously negative aspects of Airsoft, but I feel like a lot of the times that stuff is heightened on the internet.
Like most things are.
Yeah, like a lot of the content you see is going to be Airsoft fights and freakouts and, toxic cheater videos and stuff like that. And so it's hard to get people who don't know to understand, like, it's not all that, it's not
right.
There's good aspects to it. And then also, a lot of the clicky kind of nature of things.
There's a lot of it's the same way as in the real steel community. There are certain groups that are like, this is you can only do this. You can only have this.
Glock suckers.
Yeah. You can only
run Glock.
buy these certain brands.
Yeah.
You can only have this certain gear. And a lot of that just, again, it's like, you might have seen in the thumbnail, it's just hype. It's just this exaggerated part of the community that is honestly kind of narrow-minded when it comes to Airsoft.
Really, very limited in their thinking about playing the game and their gear. And I mean, it's fun for them, I'm sure, but...
Yeah, listen, if you want to run all of this really fancy real steel gear and have all the top-of-the-line, high-end mil-spec equipment, dude, hey, that's great. There's a spot for you. But I think for people who are trying to get into the community, it's not really good to pitch Airsoft to people it has to be tactical.
Yeah.
Right? It has to be mil-spec. It has to be all this stuff. It has to be played a certain way. It has to be played. You have to go to events to have fun. Or I've heard that. I've heard people be like, there's lots of people who are like, I won't come out to play on weekends because I only enjoy events. And that's fine. That one person might be that way.
Yeah.
Right? And that, that's them. But don't let that influence your opinion of these different avenues for you to play Airsoft. I mean, heck, we started off playing in a backyard with just a couple pieces of cover that we built, you know?
And it's very cool to see where we are now, because we've been to a couple of events and it is very cool. But some people have the money to be able to just do that.
Yeah. Some people have the money to just go to an event every month or every other month.
I wish. It'd be nice.
It would
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
I can afford the $20 admission it takes to get into
in
my
for a
local
week.
field.
And think about the amount of friends you make, the community that you are a part of.
And that's not to say that you can't have that in the Milsim community.
No, not at all. And honestly, that's the majority of Milsim people go to all those events.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to one person, I've been to all these events, and they're like, oh, I know this person and that person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we met at the last,
Yeah.
That happens. But we have people who live in our area that we get to see every month and are honestly some really cool people.
Yeah.
So I think kind of what we wanted to talk about here is the truth about Airsoft is that there isn't any one brand, right? There isn't any one way to play airsoft.
Yeah.
You have your milsim players who are all using real military spec like equipment and gear, and they live and breathe that stuff, and they're using it for training. Then you have your speed soft people who are really into the fast pace, like lightweight. They're running just some joggers and like a beanie with the dye mask and like a high kappa setup. You have people who, there's that one guy who comes out, every time that he comes out, he's got a freaking like foam sword that he brings, and he runs it on like small, like, obviously depending on where you're playing and the rule set, there's different rules you have to abide by, but there's that. And then the big thing is, like, I feel like when it comes to your kit, when it comes to what you're purchasing for your blaster, and in the way that you use that equipment, your play style, and even just the way that the matches unfold, it really is exactly what you make it.
It is.
We've run Capture the Flag, where the strategy was, hey, we're just going to set our blasters down and run with nothing as fast as we can.
We had like a group of like 3 or 4 people that put their blasters down and just sprinted
and just
like
ran
open-handed,
in and grabbed it. But we've also done where it's like, all right, we're going to like
bound up.
We're going to like
and,
bounding fire. You're going to lock down the left side, and we're going to hold this point, and then our one sprinter's going to grab it and run out. Like,
and that, I love doing that.
And both ways, it was fun.
Yeah.
And everyone had a good time. So it is like,
I think about, on this point, I think about the speech that Chris gave when we were at Rev. The big takeaway that I had was that airsoft is what you make it, right? And what he was saying is your attitude is what determines the day that you have, right? It is very much so a mindset. You get to choose the kind of game day that you're going to have going in, right? Before the first BB gets slung, you are the one who decides this is going to be a good day of airsoft.
Yeah.
You know? And then you have to take those steps. So it's, having a good attitude when you get shot. It's airsoft, Call your hit. If someone doesn't call their hit, it's airsoft. Keep shooting them.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is about your attitude.
It is.
And you'll find, and this is crazy to me, the amount of influence you have as an individual in your community. Think about this. We've never really had, like, the community itself has never really been negative. We've never experienced that. But we have experienced when one player or 2 players are negative, it brings everyone down.
It does.
But
it really just kind of saturates the mood.
Opposite of that, those 2, even the first weekend we came out and brought the cameras, everyone. We were like, hey, guys, make sure to give us some really cool plays. Like, we want to see you guys out there in the action, making plays, like making it happen. And we were just filming them for a highlight video. And
it was
the vibe.
Yeah, it was one of the best days of airsoft that we've had.
It was
in
crazy.
A long time.
And nothing was different other than the fact that we were bringing that attitude of, hey, we're going to have fun. This is going to be sick. Like, we want to see you guys having fun.
Even the players that are usually a little bit,
not necessarily negative, but
not
just
negative,
not like,
not
very ecstatic.
Yeah, even those guys were like having a good time and were not complaining and really didn't have a problem. It was great.
Like, you definitely have to bring that energy to the field.
And you got to figure out what it is for your community, man. For us, we figured out that our people like being on the internet.
Yeah.
So
They love, dude. They love getting on shout
the
outs.
internet.
So shout out to our local community. You guys are great.
Guys.
We love you guys. And we know some of you watch the podcast, and honestly, that's what we're doing it for.
That's what we're doing it for. It's so great.
We just want to give back to the community, and I really feel like there's been it's how excited I am every month when we're packing the gear.
We're going twice this month.
I get so happy to go out there and see those guys and play airsoft and have fun, and I just want more people to experience that. That's why we're doing this. Why don't you? Because there's a lot of examples of airsoft in unconventional ways.
Yeah. So
we
we just did Rev Oh,
Yeah, the light died.
yeah. Rip. We just did Rev Omega, and that was amazing. So Rev is a post-apocalyptic event. We've talked about it recently, and it is not Airsoft like I've ever seen Airsoft played.
No, it's so different.
It is a role-playing event that is facilitated by Airsoft. Is basically the way I would describe it.
Yeah.
Like think about like a role-playing game that uses like a certain dice set rule, like a
yeah, it's
yeah.
like D&D using the gaming dice, but then like the Genesis system uses like narrative dice. Like
exactly,
it's different rule sets.
So it's very cool because what Chris is able to do is tell a really cool story and have the people in it, like participating in it, like shape that.
Like over 1,000 people.
Yeah, it was crazy. So one of the factions that was there was three different warring factions, and they all had their own missions and whatnot. It was very like Fallout-esque.
Yeah.
And they would war with each other. One of the factions would always be like attacking another one, and it was always all these kind of things. But it was the individual players that determined the outcomes of those things.
Yeah.
Like if one of the factions tried to attack and they got repelled, then they got repelled and it didn't happen. And then the story works out the way that it does. So it was really interesting seeing that happen. Like you're walking around and you don't know, like, do I shoot? Like I see someone pointing a blaster somewhere. What do I do? BBs are flying, but none of them are being shot at me. So I'm just going to keep walking down the street. It's awesome.
It really is like, it really is Airsoft.
It really is, dude.
It really is the Airsoft.
Oh, wow.
No, but there's so many events like this that I don't think people fully grasp what the fact that this event exists implies.
What was they do another one, with Western theme?
Yeah, they do the Wild, and that's like kind of like Red Dead Redemption inspired, and it's very similar, but it's cowboys. They only let you in if you have costume and period correct blasters and all this stuff, all of which they provide resources for if you want to prepare to go to one of those events. And then like even Lion Claw Ops is doing that battle royale event. They did one of those, and it works exactly how you would think. It's like several teams of I think it was like 4 or 6 people, and they run a battle royale, and
it looked really cool.
Even think about like watching and I haven't been following them lately, but back in the day, dude, when I was in high school, watching Node post, and they were doing like TTT.
Oh man,
they were doing they did the Metal Gear stealth stuff where they had the goggles and the Nerf for the like stun thing, and then it like people can use this stuff to get creative and make unique settings. Like there's nothing, if you have access to land, there's nothing stopping you from hosting a cool event like that. My cousin watches the podcast, and him and his friends are getting into Airsoft, and he was like, yeah, we're doing like a 2-day event where we're going out to my friend's property and we're going to host this big thing for all of our friends.
That is awesome.
Like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Dude. You like don't have to just accept what the internet is telling you about Airsoft. You can make it whatever you want. And it really is like, as much as your imagination can reach, that's how far Airsoft can go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I said, Airsoft it's a facilitating tool. It's the best way to think about it, really. It is there to assist you in whatever you want. If it's the milsim thing, then very good at that. Does that great.
Does that
right?
well.
Does that great. If you want to tell a story that, is in like the Rev, post-apocalyptic thing, or the Cowboys thing, like if you want to do some like role playing, it does that very well as well. It's
dude. Hey, Tarkov. You could do an extraction-based game mode.
Do a Tarkov event.
Everyone drops into the field at different locations.
Like a Milsim West 40-hour continuous where you camp out. You have to like find a safe house and like collect stuff.
Like that. Nothing is stopping you from doing that in the sense of like no rules. You know what I'm saying? If you can get the resources, like that's great. And if you don't have access to land and you don't have a local field, I'm going to be honest, most of the fields that you see have started from either a paintball field switching over to allow airsoft, or in most cases, it is just a group of friends who get access to some land, set it up, people find out, they want to come out. That's all Ballahack is.
Yeah.
That's all Ballahack is. And it is one of the biggest fields in America.
Yep.
And it started out as just like a bunch of people getting together and being like, yeah, let's just go play airsoft.
Yeah.
So you guys are really the ones in control of what this sport and is going to look like.
Yeah. The only, what I would say is the only rule is that if a BB hits you, it has to mean something, right? It doesn't even necessarily have to be that the one BB means you're out, right? You can make the rule.
You can make the rules
whatever you want.
Yeah.
Oh, you get hit twice and you're out. You get hit, 2 times and it breaks your armor, and then you get hit a 3rd time and you're out.
Hey, don't try that at a weekend game though, unless everyone knows what's up.
obviously you're limited by because it's an honor sport. But that's
right. But if it's just you and a group of friends, I hope you can trust your friends.
Yeah, I would hope. Yeah.
I would even say above that, the number one rule is airsoft should be fun.
Airsoft should be fun.
If you're not having fun playing airsoft, you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. That's the only time that airsoft is ever being played wrong is
if you're not having fun.
Yeah, then it's I mean, I would say like maybe like training, but I would have so much fun in a shoot house. Are you kidding me?
If you're not having fun, man, what are you doing? Why are you even playing?
Why are you playing?
Make it fun.
Yeah.
Be the one that brings ideas. Like, I don't know, man. I just am so inspired by our local community and the amount of hype building up here in Georgia. And
it's great. It's electric.
It feels good. And I want that for you. I want you to have fun.
I want you to have fun. Dude, it's the Uncle Sam.
We want you to have fun.
To have fun and play airsoft.
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
Well,
I'm all worked up now.
Yeah,
dude.
hey, I get it, man. You're very passionate. We're both very passionate about airsoft.
I mean, we run a weekly podcast. So
yeah, you kind of have to be.
You kind of have
to be.
So, speaking of weekly podcast,
we do this one.
We do this one. Speaking of us doing a weekly podcast, we do this one weekly.
So yes, check back here every Friday. That was a goof, but also serious.
But
we
also
do actually do this every week. We do this on Fridays, so check back here every Friday for a new episode. If you would like to follow us on social media, you can find that in the description. If you want to buy a sick piece of merch, you can also do that in the description. There's another spot for that there too. You can find that link down there. Check it out. If you liked this video, do like it.
Yeah, physically
actually like it. Then leave a comment that says you liked it.
Yeah.
Do that. And then share it with a friend who you think might also like it.
Or if you're just trying to convince your friend to go play airsoft.
That too.
Perfect.
If you've got a friend who's like trash talking airsoft all the time, send him this video and then give him this timestamp right here. You ready for this? Why are you doing that? Be cool. Go play airsoft.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, so send it to them. Subscribe to this video. But most importantly, subscribe to this video.
This one
video, dude. Yeah. Don't any of the other ones. Subscribe to them also individually.
Yeah.
So then you can just go back and watch them again. All right.
Go play airsoft.
Go play airsoft. Get out of here. Quit listening to me.